Hi friends. In far too many cases of elder abuse, the abuser is one of the victim's children. These 50 or 60-year-olds take advantage of their vulnerable parent. That's truly sickening. This time it's the son taking advantage of his mother, and it's further complicated by cancer and family dynamics. Let me share the details because elder abuse matters. This case comes from an email I recently received. Dear Lolli, my elder abuse story makes me more sad than angry now. It was strictly financial abuse, and at the time it occurred, I was shocked. But as you read through to the end, you'll understand why I am left sad. My older brother Tom had never married. He had always lived with my mom, and more recently my sister Gail had moved in with them after her divorce. But each of these siblings were in their late 60s and Mom was almost 90. Gail was able to assist Mom as she was off work on a disability claim. Tom was the power of attorney and executor for Mom, and he had assisted Mom with her finances for at least the past 10 years. Tom unexpectedly dropped over to my home one evening and tearfully told my husband and I that he had just been diagnosed with cancer and the prognosis was really bad. This was devastating to us, but we tried to stay strong and encourage him. Tom asked if I would be willing to be POA and executor for Mom, and even for him if his treatments didn't go well, and I agreed. A few weeks later, I finally got Tom to give me some of Mom's records so I could see what was needed to be done. It was mainly Mom's income taxes and monthly expense payments, and she had an investment account that would require my attention. But Tom also mentioned that he hadn't done his own taxes in recent years. I was surprised at this, as Tom was an independent contractor, self-employed as a project manager, and he had complicated taxes. I decided to tackle them first, as he might have long to live. And in between his chemo treatments, when he had the energy, we'd go through the payment stubs and work expenses, and eventually we filed his outstanding returns. He grumbled through the whole process, and as I'm sure the illness was affecting his mood, I tried to be patient with him when he'd be mad at me for forcing the process along. Next came Mom's financial records, and that's where I accidentally stumbled on to the financial abuse. He had given me access to Mom's online accounts, and I began going through them to determine cash flow. Something seemed off, and upon further investigation, I realized that $25,000 had gone missing from Mom's investment account the previous year. What I couldn't determine was where it went to. There appeared to be no obvious answer, and I didn't know how to figure it out. At the same time, Tom had just discontinued his chemo treatments as he was no longer responding to them. He was given only a few months to live. We were all so devastated that his life was ending that I hesitated to discuss Mom's finances with this more critical news upon us. I waited a couple of weeks and I finally approached Gail asking her if she knew anything about the missing money. She didn't take it very well and was cool with me because she was confused that I would even ask her about it. And she said she certainly had nothing to do with it. Finally, I brought it up with Tom, and he immediately insisted he knew nothing about the missing money. Did someone at the bank or the investment firm take the $25,000? I didn't know where to turn. After another week, I told Gail that I was going to the bank to have them check on it and tell me where the funds went. Gail agreed that I should do this, and so I surmised that she truly was not involved as she was encouraging me. I hated to have to bring the subject up with Tom again, but I finally managed to mention to him that I was going to the bank to start an investigation into the missing funds just to see how he would react. This time he gasped, he looked away, and then quietly he said, "Don't bother, I took the money." It seemed that after years of being with Mom, he felt entitled to an extra share of her estate. So about 6 months before his cancer diagnosis, he transferred some of her assets into his investment account. He had assumed that it would never be missed. Tom never really apologized for his theft. He never offered to transfer it back, and I didn't ask him to. By then he was bedridden, and I was aware that his will left his estate to his nieces and nephews, Mom's grandchildren. My 2 other siblings were okay with his plan, and we never told Mom about what Tom had done. About 3 months later, he passed away. I know that in the big picture, it wasn't a lot of money. Mom didn't need the money at this point in time, and nor did we siblings. And that compared to many elder abuse situations, it wasn't too bad. But I keep thinking that it still wasn't right for him to take Mom's money like that when she trusted him to look after her finances. I really wish that he hadn't done it, that he had told me when I asked him the first time, and that he would have apologized. Mostly I wish that he had never gotten cancer and was still with us today. We are all saddened to lose him, and Mom misses him the most. Friends, I feel for this sister who had to deal with so many issues at once. She had a vulnerable mother who was 90. She had a dying brother. She had a conflict with her sister who thought she was accusing her of taking the money. She had this brother who was lying and had stolen it. And even his own ability to keep his own taxes up to date was truly another issue that she had to deal with. We so often hear that an adult child just feels entitled to Mom or Dad's assets for some reason, and they help themselves to it without telling anyone. It's theft. But they justify it in their minds, and if caught, of course, they deny it until the proof comes out. Have you ever heard about a situation like this, or perhaps you've been involved in this sort of situation? How is it dealt with for you? Was the adult child brought you any form of justice in any way? And how did it make you feel? Please comment below to share with others your experience. Like the viewer who sent me this email, I too was shocked and saddened that the son who shared a home his whole life with his mom would actually steal from her. Let's hope that by sharing these details, someone else learns from them and can avoid it happening to them, because elder abuse matters. Friends, our goal here is to share abuse cases so that if you or someone you know has been abused, you'll know you are not alone. It can also be therapeutic to anonymously share your own story of abuse on this channel, as this woman did today, and it maybe help some others. Just check the channel notes below to find out how. And finally, please comment, like, and subscribe to grow the channel so that together we can reduce the abuse, because elder abuse matters. Please stay safe, seek help, and know that I am praying for you.